I was doing some research half drunk one night and stumbled upon some gluten-free beers made with chestnuts. I'm Hamish Jones, Nutz Brewing Company and Concept Brewing. So Concept Brewing's doing just a bit out there sort of stuff, glutinous beers and all that goodness. The Nutz Brewing Co is doing the gluten-free side of things and chestnut beer. It's been going about a year and a half and not much more to it really, other than that we make beer. It started as a joke really. I was doing some research half drunk one night and stumbled upon some gluten-free beers made with chestnuts, and my cousin, who's one of the investors, is gluten intolerant, so just gave it a crack. Tasted alright and went from there. So and then yeah, that's why we're making chestnut beer. So other than that, we would have been making traditional style beers. I've been home brewing on and off since I was about 10, helping the old man bottle kits and that sort of stuff, and then took a break from it and then started again when I was about sort of 20, and on and off sort of for the last 20 years. And then it was just really in the last 6 or 7 years I've got into it pretty hardcore, and yeah, just went nuts with it and really enjoy it, so why not? What do you want, a brewery? Well, we've just got to get everything sorted out and finalised first, actually get everything plumbed up and rolling, so hopefully get that all sorted out next week, get brewing, and then yeah, hopefully grow, fill the space and move next door, and then see where we go from there. The Grazza? Yeah, basically just made it, everything has come about as a sort of we'll just have a crack at it and have a go. Yeah, made a beer for a laugh, because I wanted a low alcohol option for sort of sober driving. Entered into the Brewers Guild Awards, because why don't you, and picked up a gold for it, and that same beer's also picked up a gold at the Australian International Awards as well. So it's a 2% low alcohol smoked beer, just done with oak smoked wheat malt and 5 or 6 other specialty grains in there just to give it some complexity. Not very hoppy, but yeah, interesting, well-made beer by all accounts, so they say. So I thought the first one was a fluke, but apparently maybe not. The people, you know, like there's a really good bunch, especially down the Christchurch sort of mob, you know. Yeah, just chilled out, relaxed, really helpful, good blokes and blokettes, of course. You know, and people are willing to help. If you need help, people are, you know, they're prepared to sort of get in and muck in and do stuff, and you know, just that sort of mateship of working together, which is sort of pretty good. But I think we'll get to a point where, hopefully, and it's getting to that point now where I don't like pale ales. I'm sorry, New Zealand. I sold out and brewed too. But hopefully we'll get to the point where the more niche, interesting beers start to take a hold, and people don't, you know, they move away from drinking that traditional, you know, it's got Nelson Sauvin and Rewalker in it, it's a pale ale, or you know, it's hot with Simcoe and Citra. I'm bitter, I admit it. But you know, Munich Dunkels and just the Saisons and that, really is just enjoyable sessional stuff. Even some really well-made British styles, you know, hopefully will come back into vogue, because you can make some really good beers that aren't hop forward, that take a lot more ability and skill to make than just throwing 10 kgs of hops at a batch, you know. The thing with our sort of style set up and the sizes we're doing is it gives us flexibility, whereas the bigger boys don't have that flexibility to play. So I can see a point, I think, hopefully in the market where the smaller guy can actually get in and get a name for themselves and a space for themselves on the market by doing the smaller sort of more, you know, like you've got Craftworks and Oamaru doing some really funky, cool small batch stuff, and they're getting a really good name for themselves, but they've got the flexibility to be able to do the smaller stuff and do more batches more often. Just working out what you need to start with, you know, finding the equipment, finding the suppliers, finding the knowledge to actually sort of get going, and then realising how much more money it costs to actually do it, and how little you make. And you know, also just getting the brand out there is a difficult one as well. Like we go through BRNZ for distribution at the moment, but you know, we're relying on them to get the name and brand out there, whereas there's 100 other brands and they're popping up all the time. So You know, at the end of the day, you've got to get out, and like we did Rolleston the other week, which is a great wee event. We'll do Kaikoura Sea Fest shortly. Hopefully looking at doing Dunedin Beer Fest this year as well, and then we'll look at next year sort of after that. But yeah, it's getting the brand out there and actually getting established and getting to the point where people know what your brand is, and you know, whether you make what sort of beers you're making, what styles, are they going to be good. I don't normally wear a beard and I don't like pale ales, but I did it to prove I was a brewer.